Hi, welcome back. I finally got the lighting right, I think. Anyway, hopefully there are not too many shadows. Still working on that. Welcome to the fourth video in my self-imposed challenge to post a video every day for a week. Now, having said that, I'm getting into a rhythm, so it's very possible I'll be posting more videos, but the immediate goal is 7 and 7. So here we are on day 4. And this morning or today, I want to talk a little bit about where I live and why it works for me. So I grew up in an area of Brooklyn called Bath Beach, Brooklyn. And I have probably moved 22 times in my life. And I know that sounds crazy, but being single, you have the flexibility of packing up and going whenever you want. And luckily, I've always had jobs where I could do that. So I grew up in Brooklyn. I've lived in Manhattan, especially during my Wall Street years. I hated commuting. So to me, working and living near work was probably the most important thing for me. My days started very, very early in the morning and ended very late in the evening. So I was not one of those people that wanted an hour-long commute. I wanted to be home and in my office or back and forth within 10 to 15 minutes. And that's walking. So here you go. I have lived in Connecticut. I have lived in New Jersey. I have lived in Delaware. I have lived in Vermont. So about 25 or at least 30 years ago now, I bought my first place in Vermont. I fell in love with this little town and built this house on a lake, which was my dream home. Fast forward to 2019, just before the pandemic, I had this inkling that I needed to be closer to home. My mom was aging, and my siblings and the rest of my family were here. And even though they loved Vermont, it was too far of a trip for them to make, on a regular basis. So, I didn't get to see them much. And I thought, you know what, life is too short. I'm getting older too. And honestly, I think the straw that broke the camel's back was one winter. I think it was the winter of 2019. We got pummeled with snow, more than I had recall ever getting there, at least during the time that I had had a place there. So, in the midst of shoveling myself out one morning because the plow hadn't gotten to my place in time and I needed to open my business, I, you know, shoveling, I decided that this was crazy. I was getting older, and why am I still shoveling snow? I'm literally going to have a heart attack and die, and no one will find me. So I decided at that point, you know what? I love Vermont, but I think Vermont doesn't love me as much. So it was time to head back home to New York. I settled in an area of Brooklyn called Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. And specifically, I live in a part of Bay Ridge called Fort Hamilton, which is the southernmost part. And there, if I walk to the water, which you're going to see if you stick around for the end of the video, I filmed some footage this morning by the bay, and I wanted you to see where I go to bike ride or walk. And more importantly, this morning I decided, you know what? I think I'm going to grab a wonderful and famous Brooklyn bagel, and I'm going to go down to the water and have my coffee and my bagel and maybe shoot some footage, which I did. So if you stick around to the end, you'll see a very relaxing minute and a half of just a lovely, lovely area. So, getting back to this, as I mentioned, I've lived in a number of places. Where I am now suits my lifestyle. Being in my mid 60s, it is very important for me to live the way I want to live. And even though I do miss the landscape and topography of the Green Mountains, I can get there and visit friends if I wanted to. But here, it's just the lifestyle that suits me at this point in my life. My sister lives nearby. My nephew and his family live nearby. We are together quite often. It's really a wonderful, cohesive relationship that we all have. So, without further ado, I'm going to flip it over to my morning coffee And here we are at the end of video number 4. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow. You have yourselves a wonderful day.